The Jaguar I-Pace is, well, a bit old actually. It was introduced in 2017 and was the first premium electric SUV to hit the market, complete with a WLTP driving range of 298 miles from a 90 kilowatt-hour battery. The thing is, while it may have been around quite a while longer than natural rivals like the Mercedes EQC, the Audi e-tron, and not to mention much newer rivals like the BMW X5, the Ford Mustang Mach-E, the Tesla Model Y, well, despite all of that, the Jaguar I-Pace still looks and feels fresh. And it is also still one of our favourite EVs, not least because of the range, because of the way it looks, and also because it is still one of the best electric cars to drive, short of the Porsche Taycan. It really is so special on that front. And because it has been around for quite a while, you can pick up an I-Pace used. They're one of the more available EVs on the used market, which is great news. So you can get one from as little as £40,000. This one here has been provided by the excellent guys at EV Experts. And this is an SE, and this one is going to go for over £50,000 because prices for these are quite punchy at the moment. Now, EV Experts, they're very kind to lend us this car. I would also say go and check them out because they've got all of their stock online, of course, and they really do know their stuff about used cars. So you can go and chat to them, even if you're not sure what EV you might want to buy, or if you want an EV, and they can give you loads of advice. But before you rush off to them, don't forget that you can get used car buying advice on the CarGurus.co.uk website as well. And of course, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the CarGurus UK YouTube channel, and turn on your notifications so that you don't miss any of our videos. A used I-Pace will cost a little more than you might pay for a comparable petrol or diesel sports SUV of the same era and mileage, thanks to high demand for the Jaguar and for used EVs in general. However, servicing is only every 2 years and 21,000 miles on the I-Pace, which is less frequent than combustion-engined alternatives, and even with energy prices soaring, charging the I-Pace will cost well under half what it'll cost to fuel a petrol or even a diesel equivalent. The trim levels on offer run from the basic S model, which is very rare, through to the better equipped and more popular SE and HSE. Any of those trims are really recommendable and well equipped as standard with electric seats, LED headlights, a large colour touchscreen with nav, and more. Go for a 2021 facelifted model and you do get the usefully better Pivi Pro infotainment system. There are a few options to look out for. Adaptive air suspension is a popular one, but I would say it's not strictly necessary as long as you avoid the really big wheels. So stick to 20-inch or 19-inch wheels, and the adaptive air suspension isn't strictly a necessary thing. Other than that, really, the pan roof is really popular, but other than that, there's not any real significant equipment that you need to look out for because it is well equipped as standard. Now, as for reliability, the I-Pace has proven to be really good. The only thing really that you want to look out for is that it's been serviced at a Jaguar dealership because there have been various software updates. There was also a recall to do with the standard friction brakes for cars produced before 2019, and you want to make sure that all of those have been done properly as and when they needed to happen. So look for a car that's been serviced regularly at a proper Jaguar dealership, and you know that that should have all been done. Now, of course, this is going to be a popular family car, and when it comes to practicality, it's really quite good. The boot is big enough for a chunky buggy, and you get some underfloor storage, as well as a cubby in the nose of the car that's ideal for storing your cables. There's also plenty of space in the back seats for 2 adults, but it is worth pointing out that while the I-Pace is roomy and comfortable as a family car, the Audi e-tron, Ford Mustang Mach-E, never mind the huge Tesla Model X, are all more spacious still. The interior of the I-Pace is really lovely. It feels really beautifully built. I really like the sort of metal effect buttons and everything, all the damping, really nice. So I don't think there are any complaints there. You get a bit more seat adjustment if you go for SE or HSE, and you get real leather, probably worth doing. As for the infotainment, if you go for the pre-2021 cars, then you get an older system. It is a bit of a faff. It's quite tricky to use sometimes, so it does take some getting used to, but it's not that bad, and it does have the features that you want, including your phone integration and your nav and this kind of thing, so that's fine. If you go for the later, the 2021 system, which came in with the Land Rover Defender, then you get your Apple CarPlay and all of that stuff. So it's an improvement, but I still say this older system, it looks great and it's not a deal breaker. The Jaguar I-Pace charges via a Type 2 or CCS socket, which are the European standard socket types and are compatible with the vast majority of public chargers in the UK and Western Europe. The peak charging rate of 100 kilowatts means that you'll get a 100-mile top-up from a 150 kilowatt rapid charger in under 20 minutes, while a 10 to 80% top-up will take more like 40 minutes. A standard 7 kilowatt home charger will deliver a full battery in around about 13 hours. So I have already mentioned that this is the best EV to drive short of a Porsche Taycan. So I've rather given the game away that I love the way the Jaguar I-Pace drives. It's just sublime. Whether you're on a nice fast country road or the motorway around town, there's something very balanced and poised and natural feeling about it that you don't get very often in big EVs like this. They're all quite smooth and often very easy to drive, but there is a sort of litheness to the I-Pace that I just don't think you find anywhere really, like I said, short of the Porsche. And I think part of that is that there's a real trick of the eye to the I-Pace's styling. So it looks like an SUV, we call it an SUV, Jaguar calls it an SUV, and it weighs 2.2 tonnes. These are heavy things, these long-range, big sort of family SUVs. But the roof on this, barely any higher than a family hatchback. It's all in those huge wheel arches and the way it's styled that make it look like an SUV, and that means that the centre of gravity is quite low, and that, I think, is key to why this handles so well. That, and the fact that Jaguar are just such masters of steering feel, really. It's just such a lovely kind of oily progression of weight and sense of connection through the wheel. It's really nice. However, there is a problem with the I-Pace, and that is ride comfort. I don't think I can think of another car that's quite as wheel sensitive as the Jaguar I-Pace, and you can get this on alloy wheels up to 22 inch. And it's frankly a bit uncomfortable if you go for those really big wheels. I have driven it on 22 inch wheels and on 21s. Both of them are really quite firm and choppy. If you go for those big wheels, get the adaptive air suspension, if indeed you haven't got it as standard on the really high spec models. I would personally go for 19s or 20s at most, because I think that brings the best ride, still handles beautifully and looks great. I would go with that every day. I think it's wonderful, and it's good enough that you don't need the adaptive air suspension. Apart from that, there's really not anything that you need to know about the I-Pace in terms of the way it drives. It is just wonderful. There's nothing to really criticise. I just absolutely love it. Performance is great, 0 to 62 in 4.5 seconds. You've got nearly 400 brakes, so you're certainly not going to be arguing with performance. Four-wheel drive is standard, of course, so it is just an absolute delight to drive. As for the range on a used Jaguar I-Pace, well, as new you can expect some 190 to 260 miles in real-world driving, depending on weather and driving conditions. However, all electric car batteries degrade slowly over time, reducing your maximum range. How quickly that happens depends on the car's battery chemistry and how the car is used and cared for. Owners have reported that the I-Pace retains its range well, so expect even the earliest 2018 car with some 50,000 miles on it or more to have lost around 5% of that as-new range potential. It's fair to predict that an I-Pace will lose more like 10% of its potential range over 10 years and 100,000 miles if the battery is well maintained. There are other premium electric cars out there then that are more spacious, that charge more quickly, that even have a longer range, it has to be said. So it's not like the I-Pace isn't without stiff competition, but for what you're getting for a used Jaguar I-Pace, for the range you get in the real world, for the style of it, the want one factor, the way it drives, this thing is sports car-like. I'm telling you, if you don't think EVs can be fun, come and drive one of these and then come back to me. All of which is why the Jaguar I-Pace remains one of our absolute favourite EVs, whether you're buying new or used. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the CarGurus UK YouTube channel, and of course head to cargurus.co.uk for a whole host of fantastic used cars, including loads of electric options.